Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Illegal Pancakes podcast. So 2021 has been kind of a surprising year for me in the realm of video games, because Skullgirls is getting a new season of DLC, King of Fighters 15 is being released and it actually looks decent graphics-wise, and now, well actually this past week, we finally got a trailer for the House of the Dead 1 remake for the Nintendo Switch.
So for those of you who don't know, House of the Dead was an arcade game from the 90s. It was a total classic. Obviously used to give young kids like myself nightmares when you see it at the movie theaters. Like, I don't know if I'm old enough to play that game. It's got blood in it. Since then, I've played through... I don't know if I've actually played through the first one all the way through, but I've definitely played through the second and the third all the way through, and they're kind of like a cult game, I would say. Like, there's like a real small group that follows them. I feel like most people know what the game is, at least if you were familiar with arcade games in the 90s. But I feel like there's like a real like cult following to this series.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was kind of the same thing for me. It was one of those games I was terrified to play as a kid. The second one more specifically, because I saw that a lot more, like at arcades and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just a brief history of this remake. So it was originally announced back in 2019, like late 2019. A Polish publisher called Forever Entertainment got the rights from Sega to remake both the original House of the Dead and its sequel. It was slated to be released in 2020, but obviously that did not happen. And just this past week, we finally got a gameplay trailer, and there's also a website for the game with some screenshots. I don't think there's really been much news other than maybe a couple very, very short interviews with the people working on it.
So we have the trailer now. Well, what do you think? How do you think it looks?
I think it looks pretty good. Like, graphics-wise, it looks really, really good for the Switch. That might just be because I'm watching it on my iPad and it's like being, what's the word for it? Compressed a bunch. I assume the frame rate won't be as choppy as it is in that trailer, but who knows. But gameplay-wise, it looks pretty faithful to the original game. More just about just shooting what's on screen as opposed to just racking up a really big high score rapidly like the third and fourth game. So that's got me kind of excited. And then also, they redid the voice acting, but it's still equally as terrible.
Tyrion! I must compliment you. I didn't think you could make it this far. However, this is it. Let's see how good you really are.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because I assumed that they were going to redo it, and then I heard it, and I was like, is that new? Because it still sounds terrible. Like,
I think what's happening is they're using the original, like, written dialogue, but they re-recorded it, obviously.
Mm-hmm, just to make it so that it's in... Oh, that's actually a really interesting idea. They re-recorded it so they can have the dialogue in, like, a higher resolution, but they're keeping the original spirit. The dialogue, for those of you who don't know, House of the Dead is infamous for having just really crappy dialogue. Like, it's seriously some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see.
I've been waiting for you, friends.
Goldman! Do you know what you're doing?
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. Can't you see? Man committed a sin, disturbing the life cycle of nature. The original sin that man is responsible to protect the life cycle.
Here.
It looks like they're keeping the funny dialogue.
Yeah, and that actually has me excited because, like, one of the things about the game is that it's similar to the original Resident Evil games. There's sort of a B-movie horror, like, aesthetic to it, and the dialogue was a huge part of that for the original game. And since they're actually going back and, like, redoing it in that style, like, keeping true to that, I just think it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's a good sign because it shows that the people that are doing this have an understanding of, like, the actual, like, spirit and stuff of it. It's not just like a group of people saying, oh, just make the game look good, get rid of the crappy dialogue, make it serious, you know? Like, they actually understand this franchise.
Yeah, definitely. And then kind of extending on that, so one of the weird things, one of the quirks that the House of the Dead series has is that all the different zombie types kind of have, like, human names.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it's like, the best example is the axe-wielding zombie, Cyril. You know, the one that appears in Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, all of them have, like, a human name to kind of differentiate them. And it seems they're going back to that with this remake, because you see a lot of the classic designs, like the big fat guys, the Bentleys, kind of mummy-looking, like, zombies. I think those are called KGOs and bourbons. I'm not really sure how those are differentiated. Then I think you see one of the swamp guys, the Ebitins or Ebitins. I don't remember.
Yeah, so here's one thing I'm not sure. Is this a remake, as in, like, it's just has a similar story and a similar premise, but it's just a new game entirely? Or is this more like a game where they just go back and remaster the graphics? Like, is it going to be the same, just more polished?
Yeah, I think it's going for the latter. From what I've read, they want to be true to the original story, which did have multiple endings, and I assume they want to just follow the same, like, gameplay paths that you could take, not doing anything too crazy with it. That kind of has me worried, because this being a port of or a remake of an arcade game, like, the original game was not that long of a game. You could beat it in, like, a couple hours.
Yeah, I think 1 hour is all you'd really need.
Yeah.
If you were good, that is. Like, I feel like if you just played through from start to finish without dying, you could beat it in, like, 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do to, like, lengthen the game, or, like, just want you to, like, to get you to come back for it, because, like, just going off of what we know, like, this isn't going to be worth, like, $60. It's not, like, a full release game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think might be the idea. But I don't know. Because, like, I originally thought they were going to package this with the House of the Dead 2 remake that they're also working on, but apparently they're going to be separate games now.
So here's my next question, because I'm no Nintendo Switch expert. How well does the motion control work on those? Because I've never really played any games that, like, really required you to use the motion control. And for a House of the Dead game to really, like, work in its purest form, it would be you using the joystick to move, not the joystick, using the, is it called Joy-Con, the little handles?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hold that in your hand and you'd move it around and point it at the screen when you had to aim.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to go for. I mean, there haven't been any, like, actual, like, gameplay demonstrations yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone asked one of the developers about it, and they kind of gave a weird answer to it.
Because, like, I know they have motion control in the controllers, but I've never seen anything quite to the point of, like, the motion control in the Wii, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like for this kind of game, you would want something on par with the Wii to play it.
Yeah. So yeah, until, like, we actually see it demonstrated, I don't know if we're not gonna really know, but it looks like, yeah, I really don't know what to say.
Alright, if somebody knows, just leave a comment. That would help us out.
But just from what I've seen, it's kind of vague. Because I doubt they're gonna create a light gun peripheral for just these two games.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they did, if they're banking on, like, redoing a bunch of other old light gun shooters, rail shooters. I mean, I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
They still haven't given an actual release date for this game. They do say just 2021, so I assume it's coming later in the year.
Hopefully around October.
Yeah, that'll be neat. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, hearing more about this game. Oh yeah, so there's rumors that it might come out on other platforms. They got the proper, like, licensing to release it on Stadia, which, why on Stadia?
I didn't even know Stadia was still a thing. I thought it got shut down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you guys maybe have
Stadia?
Yeah, but there are rumors that it might come out on Xbox, on PlayStation, and then Windows, which out of those three, I would prefer Windows since you could use the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those have not been confirmed. I mean, I am kind of hoping for the PC, like on Steam.
Yeah,
That'd
I feel
be really
like,
fun.
assuming the motion controllers work the way they do on the Wii, the Switch is going to be the best way to play this.
Yeah, unless if they are released on these other platforms, they do release like a new light gun peripheral.
Yeah.
But it just wouldn't make sense unless they were planning like.
Yeah, it's a big stretch to say that they might do that.
I'll definitely be talking about it after it comes out. It's probably the next time we will talk about it. I mean, what else are they gonna really reveal?
Time Crisis.
That was Namco.
Oh yeah, good point.
that'd be neat if they remade that series. That and OG Area 51.
Oh, that'd be sweet. That'd be awesome.
Who did that? Or Carnival.
Oh jeez. That's like the best cringe game, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like it's cringe, but it's still good.
Yeah, I think Carnival and Area 51 were both Midway.
Were they both Midway? I was
correctly.
thinking they were both Konami.
Ooh. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, yeah, those would be... Like, Carnival just looks like shit now. Like, I don't know what it was, but
it
like...
looked like garbage back in the day as well. It was just... No, that's what arcade games were.
Yeah, but no, like, compared to, like, House of the Dead 1, like, that still runs really good, and especially compared to House of the Dead 2. Holy shit. House of the Dead 2 did not come out in 1998. It was made in 2007, and they, like, sent it back in time.
Kind of like Resident Evil 1 Remake that was made last year, but they sent it back in time to, like, 2002.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I think that wraps up everything we have to say. I'm Robbie. This is also Connor. Say goodbye, Connor.
Goodbye, Connor.